Good morning, boys and girls. Today we're going to look at KWGT widget. What is KWGT? It is a widget template that will allow you to basically take any widget you want from scratch or pre-made templates and change it however you want to change it. So you will need, at the very minimum, the app. You can get the Pro version, which will unlock some templates and will remove ads. And I would suggest getting a plugin pack. So these are all various plugin packs that you can get. Now, me personally, I like this hook, KWGT. So that's one we're going to be using today. Okay, so what do you need to do to start? Well, first thing you're going to do is long press on your home screen, go to widgets, find KWGT, and just pick one. Doesn't matter, you can resize it as you wish. There we go. Like I said, you can resize, make it smaller, larger, whatever you need to do. Then you are going to tap on the widget and it will bring up the KWGT app. So what do you have in here? This is kind of a storefront. You can see various widgets you can get. These are the Pro ones. Like you said, or like I said, if you don't have the Pro pack, you can't get them. I would suggest messing around with the free version first and then playing with Pro once you get used to it and you find you really like it and you want to get into this. Next, you have installed. At the very top, you will have your packs. Underneath that, you will have the individual plugins for each of those packs. And below that, or next to that, you'll have any widgets you've exported and any widgets you've backed up. If you know a widget's name, so free, you can search through and find one. You can also hit the Play Store from within the app and it will get you nothing but various widget packs or plugin packs. Next up, you can look externally in case someone sent you a plugin you want. You can create a widget. This is totally empty. There's no presets, no nothing. Just straight up blank slate for you to do what you want to with. And finally, this one over here just lets you change your grid size. Okay. So let's find an app that we like, or a plugin that we like. My apologies. So one I saw earlier that I wanted to tinker with. There we go. So we'll start off with this as a base. Okay. Go in here in your hamburger menu, load different presets. You can export a preset. This is your main editor. Notification editor. You can go into your settings and tinker with those. This will also allow you to adjust various components. So like preferred music player, I can set it to Google Play Music. Uh, First day of the week can be set to Sunday. Calendar to show. It wants access to my calendar. Well, okay. We'll allow it. So calendar to show would be so on and so forth. And thus. Okay. Let's go back to the main editor. Now, what do we have on this screen? This is your root. This is the overall widget. Everything. Up here, you get to save. You get to revert. Go away. So that'd be your reverts. You can change the preview background. Right now I've got it set to current wallpaper, which is completely black. If you have a colorful or a pictured wallpaper, it may not be as accurate, but it gives you a good idea. This will allow you to zoom into particular items, so I can zoom into that, go back to my root, zoom into that, go back to my root, zoom into that, go back to my root. This will lock, so now it will highlight, but it won't zoom in. This will remove all layers except for exactly what you're working on. So even if I stay zoomed out, it'll just show what layer I'm working on. And this will pause any dynamic, say for example, my clock up there says 15:50 right now. It's not, whatever, but that would not change. Okay, so this is your overview. You have 3 sets of morphing text here, which I can check into. And go into, you see the little blue part that's highlighted. There we go. And go into zoom so you can see a little bit better. Change your text. So set it up right now. It's set for day, which we'll leave it as. Change your font style. Change your size. Change your mode. So we set up to justify, and it changes it slightly. Change it back to auto, and it goes back. Change your angle. See how it curves? Change your spacing. You can rotate it however you want to. Flip it along the x-axis, flip it along the y-axis. Do a manual rotation. So now I'm just my offset, and it changes it manually. You can do your ratio. Change your skew. See how it kind of skews over? And if I drop my ratio back down to 0, drop my skew back down, it normalizes. Let's see here. We can go in here. We can change our color. We can change our filter. Go in here. We can change our gradients. Change shadows. Go over here. We can adjust positions. So your left padding, your right padding, top padding, bottom padding. And I can insert a touch. So that Saturday, we can change that to, I don't know. It's a date format, so we could probably change it to a number of things. Let's see here. So let's revert. Actually, cancel. Screw it. There we go. Okay, action. We can launch an app. So let's just launch an app, and we will launch randomly docs. Okay. So now, when I touch it, let's do this before we go back in. Let us go to our scale. Oops. I'll go back to my root. Thank you. Layer. Alright. Adjust our scale so we can actually go in and make this widget the size we want to. Okay, so now we save it. Go back up here. Tap on that. It brings up docs. Tap on anywhere else. It brings a widget back up. And you can do this for each of these components. So, and you can let's see here. On your touch, right now if I touch anywhere in the widget, it will take me back to this editor. On layer, like we said, we did scale here. Default GPS because of the fact that I have my weather, time zone, so I can figure out the time. Globals, I'm not super familiar with, so I'm not even going to go into those. And shortcuts. Again, this is because I set up Saturday. So, launch app docs. Okay. Now, let's go into our actual items. If I decide I don't want an item, so let's say I want to get rid of this here. I could go ahead and delete it. Say I decided I didn't want to delete it, I could revert. There we go. And obviously you have a reversion history. Cancel. You can also create a restore point. So now I have a fresh restore point for this one right here. I didn't make any changes, so it's not going to show anything. So I click on, these are all the shapes. So the shapes running up and down here. Click into it. Did this once before, and I'm not sure why. So what we do is we kill it. Then we go back in. Okay. So I'll go into these shapes, click on it, and now we can change our width. Let's bring that back up to where it was. There we go. And go back up to this layer. Okay, so 13. That's where we were before. Alright, so let's drop that back down to 13. There we go. And we can do that so on and so forth. You got circle, 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 circle. So each of those circles, then each of those rectangles. Again, visible always, or in landscape, or in portrait, never, or remove. Again, you can change your rotation and change your scale. The scale would be changed individual to the rest of it. Remember, we're on the overlap group. So we go into the items on the overlap group. We don't really have an option for scale because we're going to be playing with the width of the individual components. You can change your paint. So I could change this one to red. change your filter, so on and so forth. Let's take this one back to white. Okay. Effects. You have your various gradients you can play with. It'd be kind of pointless to show you on this because that's such a thin, small ideal or small item. Again, your padding, and I could set up a touch action, so when I touch just that circle, it would do something completely different. Let's go back up. Let's go into this top overlap group. So we are looking for, here we go, October 26th. All right. So we have morphing text, October 26th. Again, change fonts. You can change exactly what it's actually calling. You can change your mode from auto to justify. Change your filters, your angles, spacing, rotation, just like we were doing with the Saturday block. Now, if I want to go back up a stage, click on Morphing Calendar Events. And what morphing text does is it changes dynamically with input from, in this case, my calendar. If I were to go down to that one, that would call my call based on where I am with Noah. We go down to this one, it's going to call off of whatever weather app I want. And we go down this one, it's looking at system stats. So, but you can alter all of these, all the way across the board. All you've got to do is dig into each one and tinker with it. Now, let's say I want to go back up to October 26th. And I wanted to change my color to red. There we go. Go back up. My calendar event. Paint. Change it to red. Go back up. Paint. Change that to red. And go back up. And finally, paint. Change it to red. There we go. That entire section is now red. So say I want to go back up to my root. And we go to this next section. Let's change this one to green. Go back up. I didn't want to do that far up. That's okay. And paint. Change it to green. If I wanted to, I could change my position. Change my anchor. Now you notice where it was anchoring because it is only doing it in this little section here. It's not doing it across the widget. So, let's go back up and let's change this last one to green as well. Let's save that and see how it looks. I want to change that there. So we need to find our, be this one right here. Let's change we'll leave it as rectangle. But if you look, your corner radius can be adjusted as well. Now, what I kind of want to do is set up a horizontal gradient and then change that to red. Okay. And then I'll leave a stroke. There we go. Now, watch this. Now we go back up a little bit and go to morphing text, and we change our text color to normal filter. Let's change our text to something a bit more orange. There we go. And of course, we can also do texture, horizontal gradient, change our width a little bit. Actually, let's do a radial gradient. There we go. We can change our center. I'm going to leave that at 50 though. Change our upper and lower axis. You saw how that time just changed. If I were to hit that button there, it would lock it out. And we can adjust our shadows. That looks a little bit different. Okay, so let's change that. Now, let's see what we come up with. Pretty cool, huh? That's essentially how that works. And we can go in deeper and deeper and deeper and keep on going, but that gives you kind of a broad idea of what we're doing here. Let's do touches real quick, and I will show you how that kind of works. So battery 46%. So if I click on anywhere on there, I can click there, tap, and launch activity. Go to activity. And we can go to settings and go down to see if we can't find it here. I'm not sure if we will or not. Okay, there's Wi-Fi activities, hotspot, access points, What I'm looking for is my battery stuff. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. Okay, well, just to end this, we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay. Go back up to my root. And we're going to grab this, grab that. Now, if I wanted to, I could set it up so that where it says overcast clouds 49 degrees, or wind temp or whatever, I could dig into those and do the touch input there. That's a little bit fine. So what I want to do is actually go up here to just the overall block, add, tap. We're going to launch an app, and we will go into today weather. Okay. We go back up to parent or to root, and we go to Saturday here, and we're going to set that to launch my clock app so I can set my alarm. Go back up to the root folder and touch, add touch, launch app, and we will do calendar. Okay, let's go back up to our root and save and see what we come up with. So, click on that, brings up my calendar. Click on Saturday, brings up my alarm. Click on that, brings up today weather. Click on that, and it brings up my battery usage, or optimizations for battery usage. Also, if I wanted to, I could go into this overlap group and go into this top circle, tap touch, plus launch an app, and say I want to launch we can launch MeWe with it. Okay, go back up, save, swipe up. Nope, not that one. That's what I was talking about, how tiny that the touch targets are on that one. Either way, you could do it. Anyway, we're going to call that good there. I've held y'all long enough. So, let me know what you think about it, and we will go from there. Have a good one.